Hey there and welcome back to the channel. It's Bryson with Dimes for Dollars here, and in today's video we have a silver hunt. We have a whole lot of silver here. We have a small bag of foreign silver from various countries through various time periods, so hopefully we'll have something fun in there. Whole lot of variety though, so I'm really excited to get into that. We also have a small bag of US silver, which we're hoping to have something that'll fill the books today. We got our whole variety of books here, so hopefully we'll get something out of that one. Let's go ahead and pour these out, and we'll look at the foreign stuff first. We're back now after sorting out all the foreign coins, and we have quite the assortment here. We have 18 different countries represented. So let's go ahead and start off with the first row. We have a 1931 Switzerland 5 francs. And that's what it looks like. Up next we have Britain. We have 4 from there. We have a 1941 sixpence, a 1920 sixpence, and a 3 pence from 1921, and also a shilling from 1929. Up next we have 2 ore coins, a 10 ore and a 50 ore, and they're both from Sweden. After that we have a very cleaned Colombian coin from 1911, and it's very hard to read. It's still a pretty neat piece of history. That's 90% silver. We have 2 Australian coins. Let's see if we can get them to focus here. We have a 1951, and we have a older one here. If we can get it to focus, 1942. And what makes this one really cool is it's actually from Denver. They actually made coins in the US during World War II. So you can see that D right above the date there. That is pretty neat. On that mark, we also have a 1944 Philippines 20 centavos, which is also from Denver. You can see it right down there in the corner. So another really cool piece. I think this is my favorite foreign coin so far. It's got some really neat toning. The obverse doesn't look as nice, but still a really neat piece of history. Moving on to the second row, we have a Turkish coin, a 50 kurus. And you can see it has a wreath on this side if we can get it to focus. There we go. And the other side has a moon and a star. 1947. We also have a 20, and I believe it's pronounced leva, but I'm not sure, from 1930. And this one's going to be from Bulgaria. We also have 2 French coins. This one's in pretty rough shape, but it's going to be from the 1860s or 70s. And it's going to be a 1 franc. We also have a 1916 50 centimes, and the obverse looks kind of neat. It looks like a Walking Liberty almost. Pretty neat find there. We have 2 coins from the Netherlands. This one is a quarter golden. It's really slick, really hard to get a good angle on it. That's going to be from 1900. And our other one is probably the smallest coin of the hunt. It's going to be this little tiny 1938 from the Netherlands as well. 10 cents. We have 1 Portuguese coin, a 1942, and this is a 2.5 escudos. We have 2 Belgian coins, and they're both really worn. And this one, I believe, is a 1886. And it has Leopold II on the obverse, who was a very corrupt ruler from what I've heard. There's the other one, very worn as well. And to end off this row, we have 2 Panamanian coins, a quarter Balboa, which is very similar to the US quarter. I believe they made these in the US as well. Really neat coin. And this, essentially the Panamanian dime, it's 1/10 Balboa. And this one is from 1953. Moving on, we have our third and final row, which has some really interesting ones. We have a Guatemalan 5 centavos, and it is very small, from 1928, and it's 72% silver. Up next, we have a South African 3 pence from 1951, and this one's going to be hard to focus on as well. There we go. Really neat coin there. We have one which is actually not silver, definitely Definitely tricked me. 12.5 centimos, and that one's from 1896 out of Venezuela. We have two Austrian coins here, and they're both pretty old. Don't know if they're legit, but this one kind of looks like it. It's a necklace, actually. Got turned into a necklace, 1860, quarter florin. And this one, which took a lot of research because there's not really anything left on it. It is a 20 cruiser from Austria as well. And it is paper thin. There is not much to this coin. And to wrap it all up, we have some Canadian coins. We have a whole stack of quarters here with only two that had dates, a 1955 and a 1919, which took a little bit of the microscope and a lot of angling and patience to finally see it. I don't think we're even going to get it to show up on here, but believe me, it's a 1919. We had a few dimes as well. 3 of them were dateless. 2 of them were almost dateless. We have a 1935 here, and we have a very, very slick 1896. And actually this one, along with the 1935, is actually going to fill a spot in our book, so we'll go ahead and do those ones first, then we'll move on to the US stuff. Alright, well up first we had our Canadian dimes. We have 2 of them. We have this 1935, and it's actually a slightly lower mintage, only 384,000, so definitely a really nice find there. Our other find was this 1896, which is very, very worn. There is not a whole lot left, but I was just able to see the 9 and the 6. So we know that's going to be an 1896. It's got the Queen Victoria obverse. So I'll go ahead and add that one there. Again, less than a million minted, so definitely another really nice find. Now let's move on to the US stuff. Well, our US silver was definitely a little light today. There was not a whole lot of selection there, so we went ahead and just only got a few. We have a whole bunch of Mercury dimes though. We got 2 Roosevelts. We have this really neat rainbow toned one, which has some really nice color to it. I always find them pretty neat. So we went ahead and pulled that one out, as well as this proof. A 2004 San Francisco proof. And it definitely has some wear on it, so it's not like it's mint state, but still a pretty cool find. We had 2 Washington quarters and only a handful of half dollars. So first, let's go ahead and sort out these Mercury dimes and see what we have. Up next, we have the Mercury dimes. We got a grand total of 11 of them today, with the oldest one being our only upgrader. We have this 1927 here from Philadelphia, and it's actually in pretty nice shape. Not every day you see a 100-year-old coin with good detail still on it, so definitely a really nice find there. We also have a 1928 from Philadelphia. We have a 29 and 30 from San Francisco. We got a 1931, unfortunately not the one that we need. This one's from Philadelphia, and the one that we still need is going to be from Denver. Moving on, we also got a 1934 from Denver, a 39 from San Francisco in pretty nice shape, a 1942 from San Francisco, 1943 from Philadelphia, and 245 San Franciscos. Now what makes this really neat is we have both types here. We have the 1945, and this one's a really nice one from San Francisco, and this is the large date, or large mint mark. You can see it down there behind the 1. And then here we have the small date. And you can tell that one's pretty small. I'll go ahead and line these 2 up under the scope so we can get a quick look at them and see how different they are. We're back now with the 245 San Franciscos, and as you can see, the mint marks are slightly different. We have the larger S up here and the smaller one down here. In fact, they call it the micro S. So really neat find there. That's my first one I've ever found of this variety. And they're not terribly valuable, probably about 10 bucks for this one in pretty good shape. But still a really neat variety to find. I'll definitely be flipping that one up. Now let's move on to the quarters and halves. We only had 2 quarters on today's hunt, so I'll be really quick with them. We have this 1964 from Denver in fantastic shape. It's got some really nice toning on the reverse, so really neat find there. We also had this 45 from Philadelphia, and it's actually in pretty good shape. So I'm going to be swapping that one out with the one in the book. Let's go ahead and get a comparison. Here's the one in the book, and you can see that one's just that much better. So we'll swap those 2 out, and we'll move on to the half dollars. We had a grand total of 5 Walking Liberty half dollars, with the first 3 falling into the range of the first book. So we'll go ahead and do those ones first. We have this 1919 San Francisco here, and you can see it's in pretty rough shape. Unfortunately, it's not going to be an upgrader, but we were able to make out a 1.9 on there. as well as a really small San Francisco mint mark. So really nice find. Unfortunately not going to be an upgrader, but only 1.6 million minted. Our next one is going to be an upgrader though. We have this 1929 San Francisco, and it's actually in pretty nice shape. You can see the one in there is a little more worn. This one's actually pretty sharp. It's got a really nice edge on it still, and the reverse is looking pretty good too. So I'll swap those two out. Our last find for this book is also going to be an upgrader. We have this 1936, and it still has a lot of mint luster to it. Really sharp looking coin here, and the reverse is what sold me. That is a really nice reverse. One in the book is just about average, so definitely a really nice upgrade there. It's not every day you see a 30s one in that good a shape. On to the next ones. We have two more for the next book. We're down to our last two coins, and we have this 1944 from Philadelphia here in pretty nice shape. Unfortunately, it's not going to outdo the one in the book. We have a pretty nice one in there, so that one's going to be going into a tube. Our other find is going to be an upgrader though. We have a 1938 Philadelphia here, and it's in pretty nice shape. Not every day you see a 30s or earlier coin in that nice a shape, especially considering they're silver and they wear easily. That is a pretty nice one. Definitely an upgrader for the book. And that's going to do it for today's hunt, so I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed getting to go through all the foreign silver. It's not every day you get to go through so much, and we had a real nice variety. These are my top 6 picks. We have the French coin, the 2 Panamanian coins, a little tiny Netherlands coin in really nice shape. We have that Australian 6-pence from Denver, and of course my favorite, the Philippines 1944 from Denver. It has some really nice toning, and it's a really neat piece of history. Let me know in the comments which ones were your favorites. This one's definitely mine. I really enjoy it. That's going to do it for today's hunt. So as always, happy hunting, and thanks for watching.